In this video, I'm going to be responding and reacting to our sports card influencers buying subscribers, a video made by Dustin, aka the Sports Card Dad. Which, if you are an active viewer within the sports card collectible space, you are definitely familiar with Dustin's work. If you're not, I mean, obviously, there's going to be so much value in checking his channel out. So that might even contradict with what, if you're clicking into this video, what you maybe felt like I was trying to allude to in the thumbnail. But the term whistleblower, in my understanding of it, I think there's actually a lot of positives with having that be the affiliation that really, like, I personally saw Dustin coming from this most recent video, getting into two specific channels in this space, getting into two specific channels in this space, Mojo Sports and also Roth Cards, and a very recent spike in subscribers that both of these channels have seen. And then Dustin really did a very good job at leveraging like his own perspective as a creator, as a person in this hobby. He really, I think, broke it down well of how his overall goal is 10% of his overall subscriber base within the first I believe day or two. So I think that being consistent with his view on his content, just being he has a talking point, a topic he wants to get into, and every day, like, it's just about getting that product up, right? There's not so much need to make like a very dramatic spectacle or get into what the content looks like on these two channels, Roth Cards and Mojo Sports. So I wanted to make my reaction, my video response, more so about what my gut response was in a comment I left at the very end of that video, what I think Dustin might say, or if he's already seen this comment, what he might be thinking, maybe, I don't know. For the sake of content, very specifically, what I would overall make of Mojo and Roth, their situations really blowing up their subscriber base over the course of like May and June, blowing up in the sense of they've been huge, but especially like I think Mojo is like Mojo or Roth, one of the two has like literally doubled the size of their channels in just that month. So pretty insane growth happening. The thought of buying subscribers and what that actually looks like. That's, I think, the main thing that I wanted to contextualize and really provide some examples. I'm just for whatever it might be worth to the average viewer right now watching this, I'm someone who I've been on YouTube in various capacities, from just being a fan, a viewer, to a professional, and everything in between for the last 15, 16 years. Um, YouTube's always changing as a platform. I don't work for YouTube, but I work very much in the YouTube space and across a lot of different niches and understand the algorithm, if you even want to like put it in that way, but also how to apply the algorithm to a lot of different brands. And so right now, my passion project is sports card collectibles, this world that is Tales of the Trade, and also on another front that is not connected currently to the YouTube channel, having a sales bucket where I'm, really trying to sell individual cards that maybe I have invested in, or cards that I pull from boxes, even on the channel sometimes, other times not. Cards that I've inherited, a variety of cards that I might want to like resell and try and make something back from them. And ultimately, the content here, I'm just trying to be very creative and very upfront in that. So I'm a sports fan, I'm a nerd, culture, movies, film, all of it. And I'm very curious too. So I just wanted to preface everything that I'm going to say in response to this video and Sports Card Dad by just giving my 2 cents on what my POV is. And Sports Card Dad, overall, man, I really appreciate his content and his clarity, and how his channel is really just about his own personality and his own opinions, his own experiences. This is an extension of what he already has going on, and therefore, like, while there, I imagine there is a need to still hit certain metrics, like the 10% of his overall subscriber base wanting that in the first day, like, so much value in having those kind of metrics for the channel. But I really appreciated his clarity on how ultimately he's just trying to have an engaged community. So the points of bringing up Mojo and Roth is not to necessarily tear down. I think it really is just to try and understand why this insane growth at this specific time, and the thought of buying subscribers. I just wanted to really break that down, and because I think there's, in a fundamental sense, like, you can buy subscribers by really just putting a bunch of money into high value content and ideas, right? So I know with both of these guys, they are also in the business side of it, but a lot more is like they're trying to chase what that story is, right? They're trying to maybe even inflate the value of certain cards. I don't mean that to say they specifically do this with ideas or intentionally to deceive people, but from like a creative standpoint, in the name of entertainment, I could feel that that's kind of what at times both of those channels are going after. And what I know about YouTube, regardless of what channel you're in or what niche you're a part of, is ultimately like that kind of creating a spectacle. It is a double-edged sword in that it does certainly work, and it can lead to viral growth in that way, or your numbers just don't even make sense because you're really transcending the current space. You're like bringing a lot of new eyes, a lot of people that aren't actively a part of the sports card collectibles YouTube space. You're trying to find ways to manufacture what's going to get even more people interested. So I know buying subscribers in a broader sense, it could really mean like you're spending a bunch of money, or you're having, one comment I saw was you have access to like your packs are loaded, like influencer packs, right? I imagine to a degree that's like definitely been a thing. I don't know nearly enough to say like this specific channel has done this or not. Like that would be pure speculation, but it might be overstated in the sense of yeah, I mean, I don't even think necessarily like the influencer packs are probably like the biggest problem right now, right? But yeah, as far as Mojo and Roth, I think they are really at the very least towing the line between like you know uh, cutting edge and very spectacle, not clickbait necessarily, but just like very like, wow, look at this crazy big deal that's going on in my world. Look at this $100,000 in play at this sports card show, right? Which even too, just saying that out loud sounds like a sports card investor title too, which like I'm not downplaying the value of those videos, but yeah, it just all becomes a matter of like how much you might be really beating that same drum, how much content you're putting out. I think that's a consistent thing between both of these guys too, is they're really putting out a lot of content. One thing too that I've seen Mojo Sports do, I really enjoy actually, is how he is doing his eBay perusing, like either buying or selling, I believe. He's doing them live on his channel. So I just think the fact that there's transparency in the transaction, in the trading, that in that process, I'm just a fundamentally just a fan of that. So you can say what you will about overall what they use to like help drive initial clicks and engagement, but if the average viewer is still being able to kind of like make their own determination on if they would want to be a part of like either being Mojo or being Roth, and like that they're dealing in this way and profiting in that way, if they can ethically deal with that, or if they're on the other end, if they want to like, hey, am I going to be a participator on Whatnot streams in the way that people are active on Roth cards or Mojo Sports streams, right? Um, all this to say, buying subscribers, it could look very, very different. There's also just like there's straight up services that are like, hey, we'll do this magic and you'll have like 10x subscribers, and like that's where I can confidently say like I don't I don't know if it's that blaringly, it's not like that obvious. I feel like that there's something weird going on in that sense. One thing that Dustin had brought up in this video is really the fact that there's not one sure or not one video that really went extra viral to really account for maybe that extra spike in subscribers. I don't know how much they have been doing vertical live streams. And if so, if they are making those live streams public after they go live, I just know that like sometimes vertical live streams, which kind of like go under the radar, if you don't actively make those public, they won't show up on your live tab as a video on demand product. I just know that those videos can go like extra viral, and they just, the way that they show up is on your shorts tab, and it can really, as from like a tracking other people's analytics, it can be really hard to like track that. So just something that kind of like came up to me. But the question of like how can you be genuine, raw, and authentic and also go viral came up to me. What does viral actually look like for you given the goals as a channel? That thought came up to me because I know, again, Dustin, so much of this video, our sports card influencers buying subscribers, was coming from a place of like trying to understand this exponential level growth for these channels. I think especially too, what I'm coming to is like they had so much of a catalog to be surfaced to this new viewer, that some of their very discoverable, very viral recent videos, who they might be appealing to. So my thought here is I see that same virality potential, not only like 10% of 20,000 subscribers within the first day watching certain videos. I mean, not only does Dustin already see that, so I'm not saying like this is something that could be unlocked, but I just say like I think Dustin, don't sell yourself short as far as the virality and the explosiveness that your content, your own perspective has, as you ask more questions like, hey, how do you make sense of the analytics for these two top dogs in this space? I think the fact that you are, I mean, this is just my 2 cents as someone who, as a creator, I've only been in this niche for so long. So do with it what you will. But I'm very passionate as a collector, as a, I won't say wannabe trader, but like an aspiring entrepreneur in this space too. Um, I find your channel especially insightful because you have honest conversations. There's consistency. You've been doing daily content for I don't even know how long, but you really get me to think about these other channels, not only from a creative side, but also from a ethics side. So that's all I have to say. If you like this video, consider checking out another one and make sure you're subscribed to keep up to date with more. Peace.